Hey, hello. It is Saturday, April 4th. Some very exciting news coming down the pipe. So I'm actually going to be leading my very first headpiece making workshop. It's called Manifesting Through Adornment, and I'm going to be teaching it for the first time on Saturday, April 26th. April came so fast. Like today, it literally feels like 80 degrees. I'm in a short sleeve shirt. I love it. So I just sent an email to the person that I've been coordinating with, just to get an idea of how many people they're expecting to have, like a minimum and a maximum, because I'm starting to gather materials. And Facebook Marketplace and I have been like this because in the beginning of May, also during Mother's Day weekend, I'm going to be vending in a park for the first time with my friend. So I've been gathering stuff for that, but then I've also been looking to the most immediate, which is this class, materials, beading, wire, different things like that I can use and purchase to be a little bit more cost effective. Also because they are going to reimburse me for materials purchased after the event, which is fine, but also these things cost money. And I'm like, if we got like 20 something people, we're gonna need to do this frugally. So first thing that I want to do today is look through what I have, because I have a whole drawer full of stuff, beading, pendants, random offcuts of wire and things like that. So I want to gather everything that I have so I can see what I still need to get. Yes. So this is a drawer in question. I have everything in here from leather string to beads to grommets that I didn't use, basically, and like one-offs of buttons and stuff that I haven't used. So this is where we're going to start, because basically I haven't touched anything in this drawer in almost a year, so I don't really feel any emotional attachment to it. The participants of the class can use this stuff, so I want to take some time and go through it. Okay, so I'm going to put on some background TV, which right now for me is High Potential, the series High Potential, and we'll go through what's in here. I feel like they can use anything. I'm going to show them, I need to also make a presentation showing them some examples of my work and what I've done with things, but I really want to have the stuff in categories. Things like leather string, things like beading. So that after they look through the presentation, they kind of get an idea of all the things that they could possibly do. They can just start grabbing what speaks to them, what they think that they want to use. But let me tell you a little bit more about the title, Manifestation Through Adornment, right? So one of the things that I love about fashion, design, styling, is that it takes you to new places. It helps you manifest and get an idea of who you want to be that day, right? And there's this saying of, dress for the job you want, not the job that you have. And I've been feeling that a lot more lately since I've started on my New York City part-time job journey. And I've been working actually just finished my first week. Yay. I've been working my first week as an art assistant for a children's art studio. And this last week has been really busy because it's been spring break. And so typically, children are working with clay and paint and a lot of messy things. And we want them to have fun and everything like that. And so typically, with a job like that, you as the teacher or as the adult would, wear things you don't really care that much about, things that you can get paint on that can be a little messy, and you typically dress down. And I was thinking about, I haven't really been dressing down. Like, I've been wearing button-down shirts and skirts and things like that, and stuff that's so comfortable that I can move around in, free range of motion with my arms. But I don't know. I've been like I want to show up looking cute, because that'll also affect my mood, like I look cute, let's make some cool stuff kind of vibe. And I want to be excited still, regardless of the job that I'm doing, whether I'm working in an office or I'm working in an art studio or whatever I'm doing, wherever I'm working, I want to show up as my best self. And I think jewelry, and especially with the history of headpieces, crowns, and things like that, things that you wear on top of your head, it affects your posture. It affects the way you physically move, look through the world. But it also affects how you feel about yourself when you look at yourself, when other people look at you. And I think it can be a means of manifestation as well. When we put something on and we are deciding what we're showing to the world, what we're telling the world about ourselves. You know, if we're wearing this really cool organic headpiece made out of wire, what does that say about who we are and what we want to reflect outwards? And I think it could be really fun, but I think there's also something very spiritual about it as well, the creation of that and wearing it, whether it's just for a photo shoot or you're wearing it outside. And that's something that, again, that I just, I love it about fashion and about wearing the pieces that I've made specifically. It makes me feel different. It makes me walk differently. And I carry myself in a different way, especially because I know how many hours I put in to make this thing. So it makes me, we stand a little straighter. My tripod's tweaking right now, but we stand a little straighter and we walk through the world with a bit more purpose when we're wearing things that we really care about, especially pieces that we've made. So that's sort of what I'm speaking to with this. And, I'm teaching it during the spring. So spring forward, new beginnings. It's a bit of a reset as well. I know typically people make resolutions in the beginning of the year. I didn't really make my resolutions for the year until end of February, because I felt like I needed some time to ruminate on what 2026 was. I feel like, we just kind of jump into the new year. I'm about to attack this. It's about to be XYZ. But we don't really know her yet. We don't really know what she's on culturally, government wise. We don't really know what she's on, And even as we're working through the new year to reach these new goals, we are still constantly pivoting, because although I do think that the goals can be achieved, I think that the way that we do them is constantly changing. We can put all of this pressure or all of these specifications on what we think the year is going to be and how we think it's going to unfold and how we think we're going to get to these things. And then we get there and it's like, this is actually none of what I envisioned. And I've been feeling that really strongly. I'll talk and go through the bin. But I've been feeling that really strongly with these first few months of the year, because when I got back from Paris, I really didn't think it would be this hard to find a job. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to get a little part-time gig. We're going to maybe do some retail during the winter season, for seasonal help and everything like that. And it was difficult. It was difficult. And I was one of the people that was actually getting interviews and everything like that and getting follow-up emails. And then I would get ghosted. And then I would get ghosted. I'd be like, I felt like that interview went so well, and then it would just be crickets. And I'd be like, what? We were vibing during that interview. I felt like we were really and yeah, so it was just a lot harder than I thought. And like I mentioned, that this week was my first week at this job. First week at a job, really the entire year. There have been a few freelance gigs and things like that. And shout out to my friends and other people that have brought me onto those things. But in terms of something consistent, even part-time consistent, it has been hard. It has taken to April. From October, when did I get back from Paris? I got back in November. From November to 2 weeks ago, rough, babes. It was rough. Like, I was telling my friend the other day, I was like, I don't think I've ever been this broke since college. Like, rough. And shout out to my family really for supporting, because I was thinking about it too. I think maybe just last night, like, if I didn't have, this home, my family's house, having the opportunity or the ability to not have to pay rent, because I also like couldn't even afford to give even a few $100s. Like, I'm telling you, like, dire situations will arise. I'm not sure, but and so did I think when I made these 2026 resolutions, did I think it would be this difficult? No, I was like, girl, we're just gonna, walk around the block, go to these new places that have popped up, go on foot, go in person, put our best foot forward. Come to find out, everybody was doing that. Everybody was doing that. I would go into places, they'd be like, yeah, like, we typically get, 10 to 20 people applying a day. Blink, blink, blink. But yeah, we're always looking to keep resumes on file. I'm like, you can't even, like, if you can't go to Bella Noche's, where the hell can you go? I'm like, what is going on? So, like, economic crisis down bad. Even in the neighborhoods, down bad. Everybody is searching and looking, and it is hard out here for a pimp and for everybody, So I was not expecting that. That was not on the bingo card. That was not a part of the resolutions. I'm like, yeah, we're going to get something cute and part-time and build this brand. I beg. That's my synopsis. So what manifestations am I making through my adornment? Oof. Need to manifest getting some money. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And I hope if things have been difficult for other people watching this video, that things turn around soon for you too, because hear me when I say I understand. I understand. And I also want to clarify, like, I left my job in 2025, August of 2025. I started looking in January of 2025. So it's hard out here. Okay, so it's been maybe about 30 minutes. I've gone through the entire drawer and pulled out things that I think we can use. Okay, so we've got gold wire, a bunch of silver wire. Definitely going to need more of these for sure. I also found some little like pendant things that I got before I went to France that I found. These ones are really cute. I don't know if you can see. Not focusing. These are pretty cute. I'm also really into this one. I think is really cool too. I've got a bunch of buttons, a bunch of really pretty beads. I'm going to keep my eye out for more sales at Michael's because that's where I got these. And they always do like buy one, get one half off and like coupons and stuff for membership holders. Oops. I also found a bunch of zippers. Now, I hate sewing in zippers because it's so easy to mess it up. But I feel like you could do something cool with this on like an adornment, a headpiece type thing. Got a bunch of silver beads, some chain that I found, random little like pieces of silver and stuff too. I have like all of these grommet type things that I'm not using. And this is a really easy way to adorn something and kind of like use it as embellishment, because you have both the top of the garment and then also the bottom of the garment. Oh, sorry. Because you have the top of the grommet and then also the bottom of the grommet. And then I have some of these leftover leather belt patch type things that people can use. And I found so much like leather cord and things that people can use. So I feel like this is a good general start. But where I'm seeing the most areas for more are, like I said, the wire for sure, the beading, and maybe even more packets of the grommets. I think it'll become more clear once I get more of an idea of the amount of people that they're looking to have. Because like 10 is cool, like 10 is chill. 20 plus is something else, you know, because you want to make sure that everybody has something to really work with within the 3 hours and kind of like find something that works for them. I think next time, something that I'm going to enforce, and I hope that this does well, but I think next time something that I'm going to enforce is getting the budget ahead of time, like the physical money, whether it's a check or Zelle or something, because whether or not I was working a full-time job or not, it's still expensive, and having to wait until after to get reimbursed for it isn't necessarily working, I don't think. So that's something for next time. I'm definitely going to start like making a pros and cons list. Of course, like I said, this is the first time that I've done this before. And even though I've taught, like I used to teach middle school, after school fashion classes, they provided like fabric sewing machines and things like that. So I didn't pay out of pocket for those things. So this is like the first time that I'm like really doing that. I kind of just had to work with what the school had and work within their constraints. So that was like easier to navigate because I knew exactly what they had and what they didn't have. And I built the curriculum around what they had and what was available. So this is new. All that to say, this is new. So yeah, we're learning, but I think this is a good place to start. And then now when I'm on Facebook Marketplace looking for things, or, you know, when I'm running to a Michael's or something and they're having a sale, that I know where my holes are. And then of course I'm just going to like look for cool stuff that's like kind of like wire and metal to kind of just start collecting. So yeah, it's good. It's a good start.
Hi, it's Editing Desiree. You're going to see me a few times throughout this, but I did want to make a point because I know this jumps from April 4th to the 25th. Drastic, right? Drastic. During the time in between, I was getting a bit more acclimated with my job. We had spring break camp, which was a lot. It was a lot. I was basically working 6 to 7 days a week. And in between then, I was gathering things off Facebook Marketplace before work, after work, for this workshop. So there was a lot of stuff in between. I placed a pretty large order on Michael's. I just wasn't able to find the quality of the wire that I needed on Facebook Marketplace and the quantity that I needed, because at that point I was still working with, even as we got closer to the date, it was 15 participants. And at the same time, I think I was also still working on the bathing suit, the custom bathing suit for the first time. So there's a lot going on. And simultaneously making pieces to vend. That'll be coming in another video. Lots of learnings there, but great time with my friend. So there's a lot. Like, there was so much going on in April. So trust, all that to say, trust, the 25th was not the only time that I was shopping, but it is the only time that I actually set up my camera to record. Yes, but there was lots of work happening in between. Just wanted to make that clear. So, yes, on to the day before the workshop, though. Okay.
Okay. Hello. It is later in the evening. I'm tired, but we cannot take a nap. We cannot. It is basically about 7 p.m. I took a break to go support my friend and see her show, which was amazing. I loved the history behind it. I loved the storytelling. And then went to Michael's. I had a lot of rewards. I'm a gold tier Michael's member. Yes, it is mostly from me purchasing lots and lots and lots of jewelry making and beading supplies for my projects. So I had some really great vouchers and coupons that I could use, as well as my teacher discount. Yeah. So I got a couple things that I will share with you guys. Oh, and then after Michael's, I went to get something to eat. So now I'm full. I've got my little working beverage. I have a boba in the fridge that I will have soon. And I'm just going to put away everything that I laid out on the table, iron my outfit, work on my presentation. They were having a buy 3, get 3 free. So I got some extra string beads just to be safe. And also they were pretty. And also there was a sale. So 3 gold, 3 silver for balance. The next thing I got, this is like kind of random, but every time I see like a little miscellaneous gold or silver thing, I'm like, ooh, how can I incorporate that into an art piece? So I got 9 of these. These were on clearance. Each of these was $1. Can you believe this? One of these used to be like $5.99. It's like, would I pay $6 plus New York State tax a piece for one of these? No. But would I pay $1 flat? Yeah. So I got 9. And they're just these rectangular pendants. And I don't know, every time I see it, I just like think about, and I like to give them things that I feel like could have good movement, you know? Just to also get them thinking about the performance aspect of the after of the wearing it, you know? This also was on the list, but you know, I like to let the store speak to me. That also means that I'm liable to walk out with anything. Like, you just don't know. You don't know, I don't know. The store is going to tell us what we need. So I didn't plan on getting this, but I got it because I thought it could be good for them as well. These are black metal. Wait, you hear that? It's metal. There are 4 of them. They are headbands. I thought these would also be a really good base because I have those headbands that I got the 6 for $1, but they're all like kind of a satiny material, which might work for some people and might not work for other people. And so I thought this was like a cool, edgy alternative. And these were like $1 each. So it's like $4 for all of these. Next, package of needles, because I do also, in addition to getting random things, I do also get the things that are on my list. Like not too much on me. So I got some assorted sewing needles, hand sewing needles, and then these are 5-pack jewelry tool sets. They're flat nose pliers, bent nose pliers, long nose pliers, side cutters, round nose pliers. So this makes 10, and then I also have my 3, so it's 13, and there are 15 people. So I feel like that's a good mix to kind of move around. At the last minute after I had already paid for everything, I went back and got a second package because I was just like, do I really want them to just kind of like be waiting and like sharing? But this way, there's always somebody around that has a pair of pliers that somebody else can use, and they kind of just like move around. I just didn't want someone to be like, you know, I had a great time, but I really wish there were like more than 6 pliers, because I was kind of like waiting my turn to add more or like finish up my project. So just wanted to make sure everybody was covered. So we got some extra pliers. So yeah, that's everything I got at Michael's. Feeling really good about materials and everything going forward tomorrow. And so yeah, let's pack up. Let's do it. Let's push through. Let's do it. Even though I really want to lay down. But I'm telling myself, like, once everything is done, then I can go lay down. And I'll probably end up getting a lot of sleep. So it's about 7 p.m. now. I would really love to be done with everything by like 10. And then the goal is to get up around like 7:38 in the morning. So I really want to get like a full 8 hours. And I really think we can do it. Because honestly, it only took me like 20 minutes to pull all this out. We can do it. We can do it. You believe in me? I believe in me. Everything is all packed. I ended up having to get a bigger suitcase. We're going to need a bigger boat. What movie is that from? Got all the supplies in the suitcase, as well as all the examples of my previous work, including the first piece I ever made that started this whole journey. I think that'll be fun for them to see it in person too. Have my backpack there for my laptop and my tech case and my little personal things. And yeah, so, I also, there it is. There's my outfit up there in the corner. Everything's ironed and ready to go. So I'm sitting down here at my laptop. We've got Abbott Elementary on up there, and we're gonna get to work on this presentation with Boba. Yeah. I really think, we're going on 8 o'clock. I think we can really be done by 10. Okay. So I have this slide on high school. It's literally just a picture of me, my high school graduation, and the 2 jobs that I mostly had during high school. And then I'll say something like, graduated from Franks National School of the Arts, and this is kind of where I decided to take fashion more seriously. I started working at New York Fashion Week shows, and I was also an education intern at the Met, which goes into my love for journalism and writing and visiting museums and all those sorts of things, right? Just really quick, because they do want us to share our creative journeys and how they all differ and go up and down and all around all those things. So really, really quick. And I feel like I can do it in less than 10 minutes.
Spoiler alert, this is editing Desiree. The presentation took 40 minutes. Okay, but they were asking questions. It wasn't just me yapping.
Maybe even 7 minutes. I feel like I could just breeze through. It'll be really quick. And my thought is that while the participants are working on their projects, if they have more questions, stuff like that, we could have side conversations and things like that, or just kind of talk while they work. That's totally fine. I just know the class time is going to go by really quickly, so I just want to make sure that I at least touch on that a little bit, and I can extrapolate on other parts, other areas and things like that. But I really want them to have as much time as possible to get working. I just remembered something I forgot to pack, which are the plastic plates for them to put their beads and stuff on. So I'm gonna get those last few things, gonna take a shower, gonna go to bed, gonna get them 8 hours, period. Yeah. We did that. Look at us on time. Oh my God. Everything's all packed back there. Yes. Yes. So tea. Okay. Good night. So hello, good morning. It is Sunday, April 26th. Today is the day. I'm very excited. I can't wait for the sun to come out. It's supposed to come out around 11 or 12. Where the workshop is taking place is only an 11-minute drive from my house. But why is the Uber over $20? Riddle me that. But really, I'm like, I could just take the train. Like, I just got the suitcase and my backpack. Like, these are all of the train stops that I need are elevator accessible. So I'm just kind of like,
maybe they would have been accessible, but it was a Sunday, so they weren't. I was actually quite sweaty and perspiring quite profusely when I arrived. So
I'm going to be leaving in about the next 30 minutes. I'm going to take my suitcase downstairs and just kind of sit in silence and dissociate for a little bit and get ready for the day that is ahead of me. I know it's like literally going to go like this, but I'm excited. A few things I found yesterday while looking for something else. So a thought that I had was, should I get them some reusable bags to take their stuff home in? And then I was looking at the prices for reusable bags and I was like, I have these like small brown paper bag, little like shopping bag things. And I have my stamp. And I was like, I could just do that. It's like a little like branded thing. And I have Ziploc bags, freezer, large size Ziploc bags for each of them in case they also want to take some things home to finish. And then I also have my business card. So I feel like that would be a little like nice grab and go kind of thing. And also, we're thinking about the photos, we're thinking about the videos, we're thinking about the marketing. So I think that could be really cute. And I don't think I can really stamp reusable bags anyway. And the paper bags are recyclable, so still sustainable. So I love that. So I found that. I also found some of my old sketchbooks, including one reference book that I kept of my first New York Fashion Week collection, 2022, and some sketches, including photos and things like that from my Serbia Paris residency in 2024 that influenced the 2024 collection. So I was like gathering those things that they could also just like look through. And I also found some other materials. I was like, oh my gosh, I have these like belt buckles that I found that I used from a vest collab with another nonprofit years ago that I forgot that I had. See what happens when you don't let go of things? You're like, this could be used in another project. Like, you have to have the foresight. You have to have the foresight, and I have the foresight. I'm gonna put this all in one video, by the way, because I love y'all. And I don't like doing no unless it's necessary. Why is there a part 2? If everything's happening in the same day. I'm giving you what I want. I want, like, even if it's 2-hour long video, give me the entire thing. The entire thing. So I do it for y'all because that's what I want to do. That's what I want to watch. This is what I want to see. Yeah. So actually it's 10:15 and my mom just texted me that there's a marathon today. So we're just going to leave now. We're just going to leave now. Google Maps shows that I should get there by 11:15. My goal was 11:30. So we're just going to leave now. A marathon? Oh, brother. The running propaganda, it needs to stop. Now y'all can keep running. I'm not finna. I'll do a light jog to catch a bus, but I ain't running. Pretty. We're here. Wait, can you see me? We're here. Yay. I'm excited. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, hello. We are here. We are in the rec room. I'm just getting everything set up. I kind of started putting the tables together. There's a screen, so I want to make it make sense for those that are coming so that they can like kind of sit and view the screen that way. Looking at maybe 10 to 15 participants, but I already bought a lot more, so however much. But there's also a case manager who's going to be here, who wants to participate, and also the person that I've been in communication with, she also wants to come and make something, so I'm excited about that. I think it'll be really good. And yeah, I'm just getting set up. There's always something you forget. My friend Jason, who's here to take photos and everything and record some BTS, I had him go to get me an HDMI adapter. And it was so funny because as I'm in the train station about to take the elevator down, and I'm like, I can visualize my HDMI adapter where it is in the house. And I'm like, if I go back now, I'm going to be so late. So he's going to get it, which is great. But yeah, we're here in the rec room. It's so sunny. I opened up the curtains. I really hope more sun comes in as well, but we do have a lot of really good overhead lighting. So yes, we're also going to get a speaker to play some music while they're working. And yeah, just really excited, feeling really good. Exciting. So it is about, checking the time, it's 11:38. I got here a little early, like more like 11:20, because to be on time is to be early. Yes. But so yeah, I've got a little over an hour to get everything set up. My game plan is I'm going to have all the participants like in the middle so that they can see the screen with the visuals and everything. And then I'm thinking I will put materials up on this front table here. I'm still thinking about where I want to put like this sketchbook and those sort of like tactile things. Maybe I'll kind of like pass them out a bit on the tables after if people want to. But I really want the screen to be like the central focal point, at least for the beginning part. Yeah. So I'm going to set that stuff up. Okay. So 5 and 5 is 10. And then I'm thinking about maybe an overflow table. Maybe I push these up, move one of these long ones. So we have a bit of an overflow table. People can kind of view from here. I think that's what I'm thinking. So I think I want to move these up a bit.
Hey, snack hall.
Nice.
So the back is where this is where the materials will be?
I was thinking about maybe having it be this one because this is already 10. And then 10. I can fit more chairs here because I want them to be able to see the screen.
And that's going to be the materials table.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it okay if I put the snacks here?
Absolutely.
Your laptop.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. These are the closing statements. So it is Monday, April 27th. Yesterday was the workshop. I had such an amazing time, and it was actually my first workshop, and I didn't really realize the significance of that until Darlene, who's my contact at CAMBA, she was like, oh, so like, how many of these have you done? And I was like, oh, this is my first one. Like, obviously I'm no stranger to teaching or public speaking. That part is never really, at least at this point in my life, it's not really something that makes me nervous. But I was nervous to share and teach my own curriculum. It was really amazing to be able to share my career journey and just my life journey as an artist and as a creative person. And I think there's so much that I forgot that I did. And even last night when I was talking to my mom about it, and she mentioned something. So I was in the Joan Mitchell program, which is part of the help that I got to get into Frank Sinatra School of the Arts. I took one of their art programs. They provided all the materials and everything like that. And my mom was always someone who was able to like find some of like the best things for me to do as a kid. And even today, like she's so like research heavy, like she will dig, she will find. And that's part of what makes her so amazing at her job. But she mentioned that to me and I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot that I did the Joan Mitchell program. Like, and I can honestly say it is such a blessing to have done so much great, amazing things to be able to forget, because there's so many great things, and to be able to, like, I really had to take a step back as well, because people like me talking about myself, me sharing this whole career journey, which shout out to my friend Jason, he was there as the photographer and the videographer. And he recorded the entire thing. And it's so funny because I told him when he got there, I was like, I'm just going to do like 8 minutes. I just have a little visual 8 presentation, y'all. And because like he said, they did ask questions. I did like, please raise your hand, ask me questions as I'm talking about things so we can discuss them in a moment, which they did. I would say maybe their questions / me answering their questions was maybe 10 minutes. So the other 30 was me doing this, talking about like what I've done, what I've learned, all these things. And it was a lot. And it hit me too in a different way when one of the participants in the program raised his hand to ask me how old I was. And it was no tea, no shade. It was just like, this is a lot. Like, are you 18? No, baby. I'm about to be 20. I'm about to be 28. This is almost 30 years. Like, I started basically from the beginning of my introduction into the art world, into the creative world, which was at 2.5 years old. My mom took me to my first Broadway musical, Les Mis. That's like a 4-hour musical. And my mom was like, you sat there the entire time. You didn't cry. You just watched. And I always think about that as like such a harrowing moment for me, because then, in middle school, I went on to do set design for the school play. I didn't even talk about that. Like, there's so much, and that is such an amazing blessing. And I'm so blessed to have the support and the diligence of the parents that I had. Like, at the end of the day, it's really the parenting. It's the parenting, it's the experiences, it's the support or the lack thereof. It is, and I think the older that I get to, this is slightly off topic of the workshop, but the more that I talk, the more that I think, which is why I love to do this, because I love to think. So I love to take a little narrative, I love to take a little journey around my mind, around my thoughts, but I also think this is probably one of the reasons why as I get older, I take being a parent so seriously. I take, especially as a woman, like I could die, but I take parenting, the concept of being a parent so seriously. The more that I work with children, the more that I teach. When I think about how much time and effort my parents, but specifically my mother, private school, tutoring, private classes, violin, ballet, all these things that I wanted to do. She was finding inexpensive programs or free programs and paying private school tuition. And during those years she mentioned yesterday too, like not being a part of her sorority because she was paying for those things, working a full-time corporate job. First in our family, on her side of the family, to go to college, and maybe in our family in general, but on her side of the family to go to college, oldest, firstborn daughter, like all the things, all of the things that she has defied, all of the things that the people in my family have worked for. And my grandparents especially, like I just gave like a little snippet of their story to my friend yesterday. And I am always in awe. I'm always in complete gratitude when I talk about my family, and they are all the reason why I'm in the position that I'm in. It is a support like no other, that I know is not extended to everybody, but I know that I would love to extend 100-fold to my children. And it is so important. It is so important. Like, I'm very proud of the foundation that I have laid thus far, but I know especially that I have so much more to do, for myself, for them. They already exist. They're not here physically, but they already exist. I am aware of that. all of this, like, nothing is by accident. I am where I am because my mother saw fit for me to do the things that I wanted to do in excellence. Because I could have just said, oh, Mom, I think I want to dance, stuff like that. She'd be like, okay, go to after school dance program. But she didn't stop there, And as a mother, I won't stop there either. And so I think it's really important. I think we need to be diligent. I think we need to be a lot more strategic. It can't just be we get into an age there is a deep pouring into that child's life, okay? Or the children's lives. So and be careful who you have them with. That too. Back to the workshop. Yes, these are the closing statements. All of that kind of just came from doing this yesterday and from also putting together the presentation, all of those thoughts. But I had such a great time doing it, and I would love to do more. And so I'm really excited about all the content that we were able to capture, because I really want to take what happened yesterday. I also reached out to Darlene as well to kind of get like testimonials and like just a survey to find out from the participants what worked, what didn't work, so we can keep innovating the workshop, keep making it better and better each time. And I want to workshop it and kind of pitch it to other museums and schools and other nonprofits across the city, across the country, internationally. Because, I'm always thinking big. I'm always thinking big, baby. Where are we going after this? And I was talking to my friend yesterday about when we're deciding what we want to do, or when we're deciding the offshoots of our businesses, our brands. What do we like to do? What do we want to do? I love to do this. And I also love to travel and be paid for those things. And teaching, working residencies, those sorts of positions, whether they're long-term, temporary, one-offs here and there, those are things that allow me to do that. So I do more of that. And I'm like, okay, what would I love to do? Like, I would love to go work at the Met. But because I did work there as an education intern in high school, but I don't want to be there 9 to 5 every single day. How can I get into these spaces that I love? Love museums, love things that hold history. The borrowed and the stolen ones, okay? Because history is vast, so let's not ignore that. But how am I going to get into those spaces in a way that works for me? Because I know that through this time of having all this extra free time with the part-time jobs and things like that, and still being able to work on my brand and my business and have opportunities like this, and the whole ship doesn't sink because I didn't work a weekend. I like having that freedom. I like being around people that are also here to work part-time and also have other jobs and goals and dreams. And so we hype each other up. We go to each other's art openings. We assist each other where we can, even outside of our part-time jobs. And I love that environment. It's very New York. It's very big city artists kind of vibe. And how can I continue to do that and get into these other spaces? And teaching, it's leading workshops for maybe a few weekends and here and there and things like that, and be all over, because I love to be all over. I love to be here, there, Oregon, Paris, Frankfurt, Germany, Spain. I love to do all of that. I want to do all that. I want to keep doing all that. And I want to talk to people and I want to teach people and I want to learn things and do all of that stuff. That's what I want to do. And so I'm always looking for other ways to do that my way. And this workshop feels like a step in that direction. And so when everything's done and edited and everything, I really want to pitch this to other places, other people, and just kind of like get this going. The title of the workshop was Manifestation Through Adornment. And I wrote a whole synopsis about it that's on my Instagram that you can read. But I do find art making, but specifically wearable art, fashion, what you wear, the way that you envision what you could look like, this version of yourself and this thing that you created that you're then going to put on. It is a means of manifestation, and jewelry especially is so tied to that historically. And so I wanted it to be something that is both spiritual, reflective. I was, I'm playing bossa nova. I'm playing, I'm playing more lyrical. Sorry. I'm playing more jazz, more meditative, more kind of groovy, non-lyrical music because I want people to envision as they're making. Because everything starts with an idea. It starts with a story. It's like, okay, who is this person? What are they wearing? Why are they wearing this? How does them wearing this thing that I'm working on, that I'm creating with my hands, how does that alter the way that they walk, the way that they sit, the way that they stand? Because fashion, what you wear, it like positions you, right? There's a way that you stand differently when you're wearing sweatpants and versus a floor-length gown by Schiaparelli, And I think that there's something very beautiful and spiritual about the whole thing. And so I like to add that so it's not just an art class. And something that Darlene mentioned when we interviewed her, and that'll be up soon, was that as she was making her piece, she was also talking to herself about her future, about what she wanted. And I loved that. And that's something that I would carry forward. I didn't necessarily speak on that, but I did talk about, speaking truth to power. Whatever you say about yourself, whatever you believe about yourself is what you'll have. So speak kindly, speak positivity into your life. And one of the participants had asked me, I forget the exact question. Oh, but it was something along the lines of how did you get started in this? And immediately God took me back to my personal essays, because you always had to write a personal essay when you're applying for college. And I was thinking about the first line of the personal essays that I submitted to FIT and a few other schools that I all got into, by the way. They didn't give me enough money. Surprisingly, RISD gave me the most money. Yes, it is one of the best art schools in the entire world, but they also gave me the most money. Yeah, so that's where we went. That's the one that we chose. But I was thinking about the first line of my personal essays, which was that I wanted to be, I'm paraphrasing, but that I wanted to be a multimillionaire and I wanted to change the fashion industry. And that was 17, 18-year-old Desiree writing that, And I was so nervous about it. But my mom has always been the person that's just like, say it. What do you want? Put it in the thing. And then now I feel like I am that person because of her. But she was like, be bold. And I was so nervous. I was just like, how are they going to react to this? This Black girl just being like, this is what I want. This is who I'm going to be. This is what I want to change. This is what I want to do. And accept me into the program. And it worked though. It was true. I wanted to change the fashion industry. I still do. I still believe that I could. And I think about this quote as well. I forget who said it, but it is something along the lines of people that think that they can change the world usually do in some way because they have this idea that they matter and what they think matters. So I like to sit with that when I'm feeling having a little bit of imposter syndrome. all of the people that have changed the world thought that they could, thought that something was wrong and that they could do something differently. And I believe that about myself. So why not? Why not, you know? But I encouraged them yesterday to speak boldly over their lives and what they wanted, because no one's going to care as much as you. And if you kind of have your ass your way through it, we talked a lot about, I mentioned a lot about being serious, showing that you're serious. Social media is one of the ways to do that. Showing up is one of the ways to do that. But be serious. Take yourself seriously. This is something that you want to do, but you haven't done it for the last 6 to 8 months. Well, one, we're not going to chastise ourselves. We're not going to be mean, but we are going to be honest with ourselves. Why aren't we doing this? And why, even though it's something that I'm passionate about, am I not actually taking the time to do it? Is it because I don't believe in myself? Is it because I don't think it's that serious? I'm not that serious about it. What are the reasons? Unpack that. Yeah. So all that to say, this is going to be a long video, y'all. I'm chatting. All that to say, I had an amazing time yesterday. I definitely want to do more of this work, especially within my community. And it was so great to be embraced by the participants yesterday, by the people that work at CAMBA yesterday. That was amazing. And I loved that they were in Brownsville. And I was just, right over in Bed-Stuy. I'm like, hey, Brooklynites, what's poppin'? What's good? Like, we the best. We the best. We're the best, Barrel. So that's from Cardi B, though. And she's from the Bronx. But you get it. So I actually ended up, instead of having 15 participants, I actually ended up having 9. I'm counting. 10, because I did actually have some people that worked at CAMBA actually join and make something real quick, which they were so excited to do. And I really would love to do something that's just for the people that work there. And I was talking to my friend again, because he actually has worked at a women's shelter before. And he was like, I think they would really need that. Something without the clients, without the people that they service there, where they could just let loose and have fun and make something. Because so many of the women that were there, I think all of them, they're all artistic. They're like, oh yeah, I have jewelry making supplies at home. I'm going to add this. I'm really into fashion and stuff like that. I'm like, yes, girl, we need this. We really need this, as a community, but especially for the women that service the community. And so I really would love to do more of that going forward. I was just thinking on so many things, and truly feeling fulfilled by the work that I did yesterday. And it was just absolutely amazing. I can't wait to do more of it across the planet. If anybody watching this, or anybody is I really want to get into materials of the arts. You do either need a teacher ID, or you have to go at someone who has one. You can't just go, unfortunately, as an artist. I feel we should have New York City artist passes, a New York City artist pass that gets you into things, or gets you a discount. Yo, somebody get Mamdani on the phone. I have things to tell him. Yeah, thankfully though, had more than enough materials, more than enough supplies. I think, next time. So the challenge too is I really wanted people to be able to use the wire, the beading, and all the materials that I had to think, I want to create a belt. How can I do that? How can I build that armature without just covering a bracelet and things like that? And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think it works out. It operates a different part of your brain to think, I want to make a ring. I have to build something from this plain wire in the round and add beading and add detail. And how am I going to do that? And so, because I think it's really easy to just say, oh, here's a base, I'll just wrap this. It just makes you think a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? I think it brings out some new ingenuity if you're like, how can I do this from scratch? Because that's what I do. And I feel that the final product is even more fulfilling when you're just dang, I just literally, I just had, this is rose quartz, but literally I just had a thing of wire and I made a pair of glasses. Like, that's pretty crazy. I think that's so crazy, and I think that that's so fulfilling and amazing. So that's what I didn't have any hot glue. I only had like one little thing of clasps, and I really wanted them just like envision, work, build it from nothing, you know? So I also shared some of the places that I either got donated materials from or paid very, very cheap amounts. So Facebook Marketplace and Fab Scrap, I wanted them to see all of what they could get within the New York City community. They don't have to go into the store. And there's ways to make something amazing and something beautiful and something wearable from those things. It's the foraging, it's the gathering, all of that, I think, just puts more of an emphasis and more of an importance on the thing that you've made because of that. So, but I will say next time I want to have like, because some people like made things from pendants and was like, oh, I want to like go home and like get like the earring, like the earring loop to like attach it to the earring loop to like wear them as earrings. So I think next time I will have those little things, like a few more of the clasps, a few more of the earring hook things, so that people can like make stuff from the pendants and stuff like that, and then like put it on to wear it. But I'm just so in awe of what they made. Like, y'all, like the pictures are heat too. I'm like, oh my God, you guys, like, y'all really ate that. I'm just like, I was so inspired by the way that they were thinking about things and what they were like, ooh, I could do this, I could do that. I like the creativity was really creativitying. Like, that's not a word, but I made it up. But stay tuned for like the final edited, nice, pretty, expensive photogenic camera that my friend Jason used for the talk and everything that happened. That'll be a separate video. But yeah, I'm so excited. And stay tuned on the socials because I'll share some BTS photos and things like that from there as well. But yeah. Toodles. I don't know if there's going to be anything else in this video, but I'll just say toodles and ta-ta for now. And thanks for coming along on the journey.
My name is Darlene Villalona. I work here at CAMBA. I'm the Young Adult Career Advisor. And we just finished up with the workshop, which is Manifestation Through Adornment by Desiree Scarborough. It was an amazing time. We had a really good turnout. It also surprised me as well because I knew, I love art and all of that. And I'm an art lover. I call myself a creative, but I've never worked with wire or beads like that. So creating something new, it was very fun, very different for me, but I felt very comfortable. There was a little bit of music playing, and I was able to just concentrate and let go and not think too much. And yeah, I just want to show what I made because I was very surprised with myself, honestly. This is a headband that I will be rocking this summer. But yeah, I'm not done yet, but this is just, I've never done anything like this, and I honestly surprised myself. And yeah, I give this workshop a 10 out of 10. It was super fun.